Hi everybody. We are bringing in Jamie Banfield tonight of Jamie Banfield Design. I'm just going to get him while we're going here. And, I don't know which account he's going to use. Here we go. Hi Jamie, come on in. We're chatting with Jamie Banfield.
Hey, Miss Alison.
JBD, as
How
they
you
say.
doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, thanks for starting the conversation and creating this Instagram live and getting everyone talking about kitchens. I'm excited.
Yay. Well, you're one of my inspirations. We've known each other for what, like 5 years or so now?
It's been a while.
And you've been a pro for like a long time.
I don't
You're
know.
at the home shows. Have you like shown at the Kitchen Bath show as well? Home shows for sure.
KBIS?
IGTV. KBIS?
Love KBIS.
Love KBIS, which is on right now. Yeah, you're the guru. And you've visited kitchen factories. Like, we have so much to talk about. Why don't you start by introducing us to like Jamie Banfield Design and what you do? Who are you, Jamie?
Who am I, hey? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just a nerd. I love kitchens and bath, and I'm at the office. I'm in my sample room with all our little goodies, our war room. I don't know. Yeah, I just love everything about this industry and what we do. And, I would say something that's come really, really to the forefront, I would say the last couple of weeks, is making design tangible and finding ways of doing that. And that's it just keeps coming up and coming up and coming up. And I'm super excited to just kind of follow that path and see like what we all can do to kind of achieve that.
Did you start out mostly in interior design and now you're kind of, because you do buildings, interiors, kitchens, like everything?
I mean, way back when, I didn't really understand this industry at all. So I was going through high school, going even for the back, I was in love with Lego. I knew there was architecture. I knew there was marketing. I did not know that there was anything related to somebody that designed kitchens. I didn't know that there was interior design. So I thought it was either get into architect, which I was kind of pushed away from because there's so much schooling, or get into marketing other things. So I always played with Lego. I get Lego every Christmas. If I don't, I'm upset.
I still buy my kids Lego, but really I'm buying it for me. But I like give my kids all the Lego, and I get bigger and bigger sets all the time.
Well,
Like, yeah, it's totally for you.
I just get it for me. Yeah, there's adult versions. There's all kinds of stuff. So I would say that's where I kind of started. And then I remember way back when, like if you ask my mother, she said I've been doing this for my entire life. Like I would paint their bedrooms when they were out, or move their furniture from the dining room to the living room, and they would have some sort of brick kind of TV unit thing that I'm pushing on the carpet and destroying, but I would do it. And one of the earliest memories I can remember was I used to get those kind of free magazines that used to show listings of houses. And I used to literally grab some graph paper, look at a house, fall in love with, this arch, this door, and just start like sketching kind of houses. But I didn't really understand that there was a connection with, you can actually do this for interiors, until I went to Australia, came back, went to BCIT for an information night, and then understood that marketing wasn't for me. There's also interior design offered at BCIT. Was working in construction, quit my construction job, went actually worked at Home Depot, and then just like literally was, selling flooring one day, trying to teach a grandma how to lay out tile on her floor one other day, trying to like find a weird plumbing thing the next day. And like that was honestly one of the best, I would say, education out there, where I was able to, way back when I worked at Home Depot, they put me through really intense training. It was like a week training on mortars and setting materials for tile, which in the interior design business, we don't get that right up front.
That's such a good education. And like you said, you've been part of design and architecture and the little construction details, and that just makes you in the end such a better designer as well, because you innately understand everything you're designing. It's like trying to work with designers that have never seen a building be put together before, and they don't understand that you need two studs beside each door frame, and like there's basic things that so many designers just never know, but you have all this knowledge, which makes you just such a better designer.
Well, I hope
you're the guy,
learning
Jamie.
Every single day, which learning every single day. But
yeah, well, it's endless. And as we learn, because the kitchen, what is KBIS? The Kitchen and Bath International Show, is that it?
No, Kitchen and Bath Industry Show.
Industry show started today or tonight. So we're going to be learning even more things over the next week and absorbing all that information too. I went to it in Vegas last year, which was a lot of fun. And I learned a ton. You're just constantly learning, which is then information you can pass on to your clients and your fellow colleagues.
Yeah. And just even the connections, right? You get to meet people that you would never meet, as far as, you know, they could be head of marketing for a certain brand, or they could be a product developer for this brand, or a sales rep from Minneapolis that sells tile, and you're like, hey, we don't have that tile in BC, let's try and get that. So it's actually like the largest show in the world focused around kitchen and bath, and it's ridiculous. And the cool thing is they've taken it, because of COVID, they've taken it virtual, which I think is amazing, because really to get to KBIS, you gotta take off, you know, 4 or 5 days out of your work schedule. You gotta fly to Vegas, get a hotel room, then you're paying for meals and travel and all this other stuff, where not a lot of our industry can actually do that. Like, yeah, some people can, but it's now opened the doors where every single individual in this industry, no matter if you're working at Home Depot selling kitchens, or you own your own shop, or you have a 9-to-5 job, or, you know, you're a mom and you're doing this in the evening, you're able to absorb something from KBIS, which is super fun.
It's accessible. And this year it was supposed to be, I think, in Florida. So I wasn't going to go anyways, but now I get to actually see all this stuff. But like you said, I get to watch a lot of it in my own time when I'm settled at the end of the day. The kids are doing their own thing. And I find like, I'm hoping that it's just going to be better absorption too.
I think so. And like,
but maybe not as many person-to-person contacts like you would get if you were showing up in person, right?
But I mean, I don't actually fully understand what they've created. But my understanding is that there is places to network. I don't know how. Yeah. There's places to hang out. There's things to interact with other people. Don't know how, but we'll find out. But
I'll be finding out tomorrow when I start logging on. And so besides traveling to these shows, you actually have spoken, and you're an expert at the home show, not just in Vancouver either. You go to Calgary and Edmonton and...
Yeah, I mean, I kind of got... like, when I first got into the industry, one of my good peer, but also, you know, now looking back, she's totally a mentor. She kind of pushed me in getting involved in the NKBA, which is the National Kitchen and Bath Association. They're the producers of KBIS. And she pushed me to just like, go volunteer, jump in. So totally did, went in, helped out with certain events, things like that. And then, you know, got offered a position where I was able to be VP of programs, and I was actually able to connect with manufacturer suppliers to come in and teach CEU credits that I was able to kind of build up. Was the president of BC, but what that did is that elevated me to connect with KBIS. And, you know, I was lucky enough and so honored to be invited down there for, you know, a couple panels. You know, I was nominated for a 30 under 30, which was probably one of the best things that ever happened to me, because I was able to build this network of peers. And it's, you know, every year they pick 30 individuals across North America in our industry under 30. And I was able to connect with peers that, you know, think like me, they act like me, some of them. You know, we're in the same industry with the same nerds, and like, it's hard for, especially being under 30, trying to connect with my friends and peers, be like, hey, get excited about this new Caesar Stone countertop, or check out these brand new faucets. Like, nobody that I know cares, right? Or it's like, stop saying cupboard, it's a cabinet. But these people did, and each year it grows, where there's another 30, and now I have this network of people literally all across North America, where if I got a question about a product or how to deal with a client or how to evolve our business, there's someone there to connect with. And that was all because of KBIS. And then one of the amazing things that came out of KBIS was I was able to judge the best of KBIS, which was ridiculous. Like, they've got you on this schedule. It's like 10 minutes per product, and you're walking this show on a curated map that they're pushing you through.
And the show's not small. That thing is massive.
Yeah, I think it's like
you got to wear hiking boots. You got to go.
Yeah. But the cool thing was you were like VIP line to these innovative products, and you're talking to, you know, the developers of these products and the people that actually worked in the tech side of it, and you were able to connect to them for, you know, 10, 15 minutes about this product. And as a nerd, I was blown away that I was able to get that one-on-one time. Because, you know, kind of walking through these shows, sometimes you're in this booth and it's huge, but there's 100 other people trying to get the same amount of FaceTime as you are to ask about a product or learn about this. And I mean, we were exhausted. It was go, go, go. It was like 9 to 5 for like a couple of days straight, but it was amazing. It was honestly it was an honor to do it, but selfishly it was ridiculously filling out all the voids that little nerd needs to fill out.
But then as a client, as a future client coming, that's a really good thing to look for in a designer, is somebody who is really well networked and somebody who has gone to the shows and who has pounded those floors, because if there's something you don't know, you have 1,000 people you can ask for the right question for a problem that might be specific to that project or that design, that kitchen or that bathroom or whatever. And you just have, not only do you have a lot of knowledge, but because you've made the effort to show up for these shows and to pound the pavement on them and make those connections, you also have a whole network of people you can ask a question of, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I tell our consumers too. Like, I don't know hardly any of the answers, but I know someone that does, so I'll go get that answer.
Always know someone who knows it.
Yeah, and it will be the hopefully the correct answer. You know, if me just fudging an answer is not good enough, right? I can get you the exact answer from whoever it is, and we've had some fun opportunities because of that. Like, there's a product called Deckton, and we were one of the first guys in BC to actually install it in one of our residents, and you know, they got it right on the second try. The first try didn't go too well, but because of finding that product and being able to assist, and you know, they actually flew someone in from Spain to teach somebody on Vancouver Island how to manufacture or how to fabricate it to then ship it to Vancouver, because there was nobody in Vancouver to do it. So just being able to like know the right people to get the right answers can take away so much drama and give so much confidence to your end consumer, for sure.
And that's, you put in the effort to make those connections. That's just such a benefit to your personal customers. So you, do you focus a lot still on your kitchen and bath is a big thing because it's such a specialized thing, whereas most of your walls have paint and maybe a bit of millwork, but kitchen and bath are still the jewels of the home, do you think?
I totally think they are. And for me, when I got into this industry, I was very naive on how to travel the industry, what to do. So my first ever design job was working at a design firm on commission. So I was an interior designer working on commission. And I didn't even know that, like, looking back now on, you know, our staff, like, I don't even know how that's possible. Like, I don't even know how. But I was so naive in the beginning of the industry, I had no idea. But what that did is I didn't have a roadmap to get anywhere. So I was able just to kind of flutter through and, you know, focus on things that I liked, and then that would blossom into something else, and then I would find something else that I liked, and that would blossom even more. So kitchen and bath has been in my blood since I got in this industry. I, you know, worked at Home Depot when I worked for a really fun manufacturer called Mayor Kitchens out of South Surrey, and we were able to, you know, I was selling basic cabinets. Like, you know, I remember we used to sell tons of laminate countertops, and the first time I ever sold a quartz countertops, I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, people buy this stuff.
You're aging yourself now, Jamie.
I know. But, you know, and it's like, that is kind of how I kind of dove through this industry to where we are. And I didn't know any other path to get there, right? So kitchen and bathroom have been top of mind the whole way through that. And every time we get a project that has a kitchen bath, which is honestly, it's every project, you know, it's really fun. And I think a lot of people don't understand, especially bathrooms. I joke with this at like the home shows and stuff like that, that people assume that, you know, my husband's in trouble, he did something bad, he owes me a favor, that's it, a weekend project, we're gonna have our bathroom all redone. And it's like, no, like, your bathroom will probably take you longer than your kitchen, and it might take you just as much money to do it, because there's so many things behind the walls and some things that you don't see. You know, when consumers build these budgets for these spaces, all they think about is, oh, I went to a store and I picked out a toilet, I picked out a countertop, picked out a cabinet, picked out my tiles, we're good to go. But it's like, you're not adding in all of your disposal fees and your delivery fees and your eco fees and all these other things that kind of add up really fast. Whereas
and the installations and the problem that you came into in the middle of installation, and you didn't know that that wall was actually rotting, and now we have to fix the wall behind the plumbing that was behind the
which
renovations,
I'm sure you're
especially
well aware of.
Renovate, because I normally have to do the entire house, and something always is unexpected, and you had no idea that the foundation was crumbling in the corner of the house, or what. There's always something, and I'm sure it's just as much if you're doing interior design and kitchens and baths, because kitchens, especially because I'm doing mine right now, which is why I'm hiding in my bedroom tonight, because the rest of my house is a complete war zone of dishes and cabinets and drywall. But you open up one wall, and again, we found now we have to take this wall back 6 inches. Well, there's 2 more weeks, and there's et cetera, et cetera. The problem that we're having now, not just me, but I think the industry in general, is just keeping up with how many people are doing their kitchens and bathrooms, because now they're staying at home and they're realizing, wait a minute, maybe I don't like to cook in this kitchen every day. It doesn't quite work for me. It's not quite efficient. And the appliances, I was originally told my fridge was going to be delayed until August.
That's
because there's just they're not coming. Nobody's delivering them. They can't keep up. There's no stock. And I was talking to somebody else about the annual IKEA sales. I was like, oh, there should be one coming up. There hasn't been one in a while. They're like, no, there's not going to be one this year because they just don't have any cabinets to put on sale.
Yeah.
So it's gone insane. But I guess it is a good time to just plan out your kitchen, but you might not be able to build it right away.
Well, I mean, going back to that point of like having the contacts, right? So right before this, I got an email from one of our appliance reps, Jessica, and she emailed being like, hey, is this project still slated for April, right? So our customers are looking at stuff now. She's already thinking about the shipping for April, right? Realistically, no, like this project is actually going to be delayed. And it's because the homeowners, they're taking a little bit more sweet time on thinking over details, which is great.
Which is good.
But you know, that supplier, they're connecting with us because we've given them enough notice up front, and we've given our end consumers the understanding of we could be delayed, where the supplier's now reaching out to us to say, hey, let's make sure we have this ready for when you need it. And I think just having those honest relationships back and forth helps that go through it. And majority of our projects, they're on time. Like, I mean, we had one job where the flooring is discontinued now, and because it's discontinued, there's nothing to swap out because there is nothing in stock. But realistically, like I say, like if you're planning a bathroom renovation and it's 12 weeks, you need 12 weeks to plan this thing out. So if we know right at the forefront that these products are not stocked, they're back ordered, they're out of stock, we can hopefully plan to know when to pre-order. And I think the construction side, they're going to have to get a little bit more on the ball. So going through our design process, we're typically, trying to budget 4 different times for our design process, whereas they probably need to start ordering materials in advance. So, a lot of times cabinets will get installed, then the contractor will call the countertop guys to come out, where maybe that needs to get pre-ordered the same time as the cabinets. Or, there might be a little bit of shuffling of when these things need to be ordered just to hit those timelines correctly. But I don't know. I think it's the fun. That's all we do is problem solve, right? Which is the fun part of our job.
That is my favorite. I do like the problem solving, which I'm having to live in right now. And I don't recommend that to clients, and you probably don't either. Never live in your renovation.
Well,
but
you're good at that though. Like I would say out of anyone I know, I think you're roll with the punches, but you all got a smile on, you always have a bottle of wine in your purse, and you're good to go, right? So I feel like living through that experience though is going to help anyone, you talking to the next customer or next, you're going to educate, right? So I think living through a certain experience, you're going to educate somebody on something that they're going to take away and do better of next, right?
I'm definitely I purposely wanted to live through my renovation and not move out. I really wanted to be here for all the nitty gritty. I mean, it's obviously taking a lot longer than we'd hoped at this point because of all kinds of delays, but it is good for me as a designer to be able to relate to the future customers on that level and say, look, this might happen. And I'm learning so much more.
Do you want to live through this? But
I still wouldn't advise it to customers, but I am glad I'm living through it. I mean, despite COVID, if it wasn't for COVID, I would still be throwing dinner parties in the middle of no kitchen. I don't care. If you don't want to come eat my food, you don't have to come eat my food, but I'm gonna I would normally still entertain in the middle. And right now I literally have a stove and nothing else.
And you got a perfect stove.
Not a counter, nothing, but I do have a really nice stove.
Yeah.
So, that was the treat in the kitchen. That was my jewel. What do you find when you're designing a kitchen, people spend the most? What's their splurge?
I would say these days, it's funny. I would say one of the trends that we're seeing is, my parents' age, they've got more income to spend. They've taken their foots off, the gas on certain things, and they're starting to treat themselves, right? So I'm seeing a lot of people investing in how they want to live. So we're seeing things like, you know, somebody buying a cooktop and a wall oven because they don't want to bend over or they want to have gas, or we're seeing larger ranges, right? So typical old school day was a 30-inch electric range that was 90% of the homes out there. Now everyone's splurging on going bigger, right? Or they're investing in things like steam ovens, right? So they're bringing in these professional quality things for themselves. And it's funny because my generation is going to eat this up, but we're going to expect it for our houses, right? So and I remember my mom renovated her kitchen, and, you know, we, you know, got some good deals, all that kind of stuff. And my mom she got a countertop material. And that countertop material, I literally had to explain to my mom, is this countertop you're putting in here is quartz, but it's the exact color that's going to David Foster's house. And you're not worth $400 million. So that range of like what we want has kind of, it's, you know, the medium class is kind of leveled out with a high class where we're installing all of these fun gadgets and all these amazing materials, which I love. But so we're seeing that kind of trend of like treating ourselves, bringing professionalism into the home. And I'm sure, like, you know, you love entertaining and cooking, and we're seeing more of that trend too, right? Where people they're showing off. Like, they want to show off their knife skills. They want to position that range in a way where, you know, they can have their friends over and they can pull out that roast and be like, check it out, right? Like, we're seeing this entertainment of a kitchen coming through too.
Well, I think I've shown you in mine too, because I'm really excited about the intersection of commercial kitchens and residential kitchens from a design level, because I love the pure efficiency of a commercial kitchen. Those chefs do not want to step out of their 3 foot by 3 foot zone. And if I have to take one extra step, this is no longer an efficient kitchen. And so there's a lot to learn from that, I feel. And I'm gotten into 1 or 2 commercial kitchens just to watch, because it's amazing what they can do with a tiny amount of space. Serious cooks don't want massive kitchens. They don't want to have to walk 10 steps to the fridge. So the whole triangle thing is kind of out the window. It's more, how is it efficient? How do I stand here? A bigger kitchen might have like a really efficient cooking station, and then a separate really efficient prep station. And so it's a bigger kitchen. It's a little bit more spread out, but the space that you're using is the utmost in efficiency. And I really like exploring that. And then in my kitchen, I'm trying to do the feel of it'll have a pull in and put down and pull out piece, but to have that kind of feeling that you're sitting at a commercial kitchen, like when you're sitting at the kitchen and
you're
watching
like
them
at
cook.
the chef's table.
And so then when I'm serving dinner, it's to the people at my kitchen. They're on I still working out the detail on that one, but hopefully I nail it.
Yeah, and I would say, like, that's why, like, we're seeing more people. No, they're not renovating or building this house for the Joneses. They're not doing it for, you know, necessarily resale. Obviously, we want to, like, one of our mandates is that we want to think long term. We want to think long term on, you know, eco-friendly products or timeless design. Just something like, we don't want things to just get thrown out in 5 years. But people are taking that more how they cook, what they do, and they're gravitating to how that has to fit them. And you're right, like the triangles. Like, I remember going to a school, I fought with one of my teachers where they wanted a triangle between a fridge, a sink, and the range. And I was like, no, you're wrong. Because if you look at like I was like, analyze your main things that you're doing, that cooking element might not be your number 1 triangle. That might be your secondary triangle, or it might not be. So it's fun to see how people are now kind of trusting on us to play and understand how they're going to live. And I think that's probably one of the best things. It's like building Lego. I see this box, it's a ton of pieces on the floor, and then by the end of the day, you know, I've got this thing that looks just like the picture of the box, right? But we're able to actually see the homeowners hopefully use it as we envisioned it, right? Like, whether it's the gathering place or now they're cooking, and we've had some opportunities where we've been able to go back into these homes, and, you know, they're going to make us dinner, or we get to see it, and you know, it's the fact that you're planning something out, spending a lot of money on it. It's a piece of paper that they're holding up for, you know, 40, 100 grand, whatever it's going to be. And then, you know, 4 months later, it's reality, and that's what their new lifestyle is, right?
And people, even before COVID, people were starting to cook at home far more. And the home cook and the home chef was becoming a real legitimate thing. When I went to cooking school a few years ago, I'd say 90% of the people there were just there to learn how to cook for themselves. They weren't
Yeah.
interested in working in a kitchen. So they're going to full year long, 1 or 2 year long cooking school just to cook at home. And so people are expecting like a certain amount of quality and, like you said, substance and eco-friendly and stuff from their kitchen because they're going to use it and they're going to use it well and they're going to,
Yes. And
it's an
people use
exciting
it for
time.
different reasons too. Like I know I when I cook, like most of the time it's a relaxation thing. It's not necessarily just to get food on the table. I don't have kids, so it's not
But
just
you
to get
do
food on
make
the
a
table,
mean
right?
brunch, and I liked coming for brunch when back in the day.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you know what? Like, if you think about our kitchen, like we're in 600 square foot condo, and we have a 24-inch oven. Like, it's a 24-inch, and we got a 36-inch range or cooktop. But exactly to that point, right? We're able to make brunch for like 14 people, but it's because that kitchen is so efficient. It is set up so efficient. Everything has its place, but their place is located in the right areas. And like the equipment, like the wall oven is actually 24 inches wide, which I battles, some of these large ranges for some people, but for us, we don't bake that much.
Yeah.
We'll bake French toast casserole, or we'll bake a turkey, and that's pretty much all we're baking all year long, right? We're not
Yeah.
baking constantly all the time. So I think just having the ability to think about those things and think about how it's going to work with you, just like you're doing for your kitchen, is a trend that we're seeing, and I'm loving it.
Yeah. People are getting really intelligent about their kitchens, and I like it. I don't know if you've had experience with e-design for kitchen and stuff where you're remote. Have you done a lot of remote kind of design experiences?
Yeah, so we've been dabbling in e-design, I would say, for the last maybe 2 years,
Yeah.
maybe almost 3 years. And one of our first projects was we worked on it was a referral of a client. They were in North Vancouver, but their friends lived in Kelowna, and they were actually updating their kitchen. And it was at first it was scary to be like, no, 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 we got to touch and feel, we got to go look at it, we got to do this. But we put a foot on the brakes. We didn't have to do any site visits, and we actually finished up a custom house on Vancouver Island, and we never went to that job site. And then since COVID hit, we've got jobs in Ontario, Alberta right now, Kelowna, and even locally. Like there's a job, we've got a meeting tomorrow, and it's a Zoom call, and they're based in Port Moody. They're literally 10 minutes away from us. But what it's doing is like we've reanalyzed that process to understand what main focal points you have to pull out of it. And I think one of the key thing I think that you gotta take away with e-design is the tactile feel. You have to touch and feel. And I think that's one thing that is missed on a lot of these platforms. So our samples arrive to their house. So it arrives a day or two before it gets couriered over there. It's $16 to get there, but it saves us a lot of time. So we might have a 1 hour meeting in the office, whereas possibly, doing this meeting, a year ago, it would actually take us 4 hours because we'd have to pack up the samples, drive there 45 minutes, drive back. We'll be there now an hour and 15, whereas now we only have an hour, right? So we're more efficient, and I'm super excited to keep exploring it because I'm enjoying it.
That's good. Yeah, I find that it's far more efficient. I'm not spending an hour in traffic each way. I'm not having to I can sit there and, like you said, you're just learning how to do things that would normally be tactile. Like, how do I help you measure that wall properly
Yeah.
through Zoom?
Yeah.
We're going to figure this out together. And maybe it takes a bit of patience on both sides while everybody's figuring it out. But I think it's really exciting because it makes you more accessible to so many more people. And like people like you that just have so much knowledge. I want the Jamie, whether I live in here or in the States or Eastern Canada or wherever, I want to work with Jamie because he just knows everything.
No, I
He
don't.
knows
I know who to
everything.
go to. I know who to go to.
He
But
knows who to call. I only have one person to call, and it's you. So
yeah.
I'm like, I don't know that one. I think I'll call Jamie.
Yeah, and then I'll probably call someone else because I don't fully know. And that's the cool thing about this industry. And I think like e-design, I know when COVID kind of goes away, we're going to want more interactions, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of benefits coming out of this, especially for our industry, because we're stuck in these old molds where I think
Yeah.
we're able to crash those molds and really reinvent it on how can we actually spend our clients' money efficiently, because technically, with that one meeting would cost 3 hours, whereas now we only can charge 1 hour.
Yeah.
So we can actually probably cut our design budget down by, 2/3, which might sound crazy. Why would a business want to do that? but we're able to service more people, and we're able to make this industry more tangible and more value. Like a homeowner can hire a designer and they can see the value because we're adding value at a reasonable cost, right? So I'm excited for those things to kind of evolve out of this.
Well, besides that, or maybe it is that, but tell me something that you're excited for in 2021, and then tell everybody where to find you.
I think one thing I'm excited, which is probably not the greatest thing, but I think we're getting to a point where we're able to just be us, and we're able to figure out what we want to do and how we want to help people. And I think down to basics, that is what I'm super excited for, is that we've zoned in on what we want to do. We know we want to work on houses, residential design. We're not going to run after, shiny things here and here, but we know we want design to be tangible, and we want to help create that and hopefully break molds. And that's what I'm super excited about for the next year. And yeah, where can everybody find us? They can find us here. They can find us on Instagram. Follow us on here.
And you're at, I get my CAs and my .coms mixed up, but
honestly, we're everything.
You're
JamieBanfield.ca, JamieBanfield.com,
perfect.
Jamie Banfield Designs, whatever. Just Google it and you'll find us. But
thank you, Jamie. I feel like we still have 3 hours of things to talk about, so we're gonna get you back. Okay,
let's do it.
Yay!
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alison. Chat soon.